All right. I am an indie game developer. My name is Scott, and I am working on my first ever project. On developing my first ever project, and I I posted a devlog about 2 weeks ago. Devlog one, and that was the first animation I've ever done of my player character doing their idle animation. Since then, I have been working for 3 weeks without updating the devlog at all. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record 4 devlogs. Um, all of them are going to be in the same shirt. All of them are because I'm going to be recording them all right now. I'm going to record all of them right now, and I'm going to release all 4 of them out, or all 5 of them out to the public on a debut YouTube channel. And then hopefully I'll remember to keep up the the devlogs going forward. I apologize for the inconvenience. I do not promise that I'll keep my promise that I'll continue with the devlogs moving forward consistently. I will be posting devlogs, but they might not necessarily be consistent. So without that going forward, with that said, I'm going to pretend like this is my first day after devlog 1. So, okay. That character doesn't exist. Oh, no way. It's our player character. Very exciting. On day 1, or day 2, I guess, I technically didn't even have Godot installed yet. Day 2 was all about animation, and I'm not gonna go into fucking Blender and show you what that entails. So instead, I'm going to pretend like this is Blender, and we're all gonna sit there and like it. How about that? How about that, bud? So, I had animated individual animations for the player character. The idle animation was already finished. That was the first one I did. That was posted on devlog 1. It was the only thing noted in devlog 1. Past that, the second thing was the walk cycle. And then I did a run cycle. And then I did a jump. And then I did a punch. Okay, great. That was basically my entire day on day 1 of working on the project, or day 2 of working on the project. I was still sort of figuring out how keyframe animation worked, but historically speaking, I'd only worked frame by frame. So knowing that, the animation was a little bit tricky to figure out. Now, at this point, I'd already sort of understood how the bones worked, and after the idle, I had a general idea of keyframe animation, but I didn't really have like a confident grasp of it until I'd finished this character. And I'd learned a lot of interesting things about weight paints and texture painting that I hadn't done before. And I had created all the animations for this character. Very exciting stuff. I'd never texture painted before. I didn't know how to do it. I knew about UV unwrapping, but I didn't know what that entailed necessarily. So I'd unwrap, I'd have the wrap right there, and I'd be like, what the fuck do I do next? And after plenty of trial and error, some talking with ChatGPT, I'd figured out how texture mapping works. You create a material first, and you add a node in that material in Blender, and then that node is a texture, and then you add an image texture. You go into the texture painting tab on Blender, you go through and you texture paint. Voila, we have our character. I did all that on day one with this character and the idol, but after the idol animation, I ran into some trouble where my walks, they would fuck around with the head. And that was when I learned about weight painting. So weight painting is if you select an object mode, you go into the rig, you can select each individual bone, and then go into weight painting mode and dictate how much each animation is affected by a different rig. So, for example, in the walk, how much does the leg bone affect, the head or the torso or etc. With that, you can also establish how much they interact with each other. How much does the leg bone interact with the leg? And I had to do that a little bit in order to get it to actually function. But past that, that's all I really did for day 2. Thank you for watching to entirety. I will see you in what to me will be 20 seconds, what for you will be whenever you decide to watch the next video.